Hello, welcome back to the channel. So, I want to look at the new update that came with the new electric unit, Jiangyu. So, basically, her kit is supporting and doing a lot of stability damage. And I got one copy because I did lose a 50-50 on Belka. So I decided to just get a new unit instead of wasting it on Belka because I wasn't gonna get the V6, so I might as well just get a new unit. And now I have 4 electric units, so now I want to test that in Gunsmoke also. But before all of that, I want to look at her kit and see how well her kit actually works. So if we look at her passive, every turn she gets 1 point of index, and if her index is full, she reduces the ultimate skill cooldown by 1. When an enemy gets negative charge, she applies voltage sag that reduces their damage and increases the electric damage they take. And then when your allies get positive charge, we get a stack of power surge, which ignores defense and increases the healing of positive charge. Now, also she does support action attacks, and this is triggered when an ally unit attacks within her range. And when she does this support action, she gets 1 stack of chi. So what chi does, it increases stability damage by 1. And when using chi, if the enemy has stability greater than 0, she will spin all the stacks to do fixed stability damage, and she can stack up to 5 times. Now, moving on, also in her passive, if the stability is greater than 0, she does electric damage, 45% attack, and 3 more stability damage. And if there's stability broken, she just does extra damage. Now, just from her passive, you can see that she does a lot of stability break, so that is really her niche, and that's what she does well. Now we go into her ultimate. Her ultimate gives her 2 stack of chi, and it does electric damage that ignores cover up to 130% attack. This also applies positive charge to all your allied dolls for 3 turns, cleanse 1 debuff, and removes stun and taunt. And also she gets 1 index. So, if you have her and Adoris, you should have 100% uptime on all positive charge. So, she really works well in the electric team, and I believe she probably can work well outside the electric team because I've seen some of her keys and I feel like 2 of her keys could work well, so you could take her into a team that's not only electric if you need the stability damage. Now, if we look at her skill 2, this one benefits from stability broken, so you're probably not going to use this unless the enemy is stability broke. But when they are stability broke, she gains 1 stack of chi and she gets 2 index. Now, moving to her S1, this is probably what you probably will be using most of the time. It's a 3x3 attack. It does melee AoE. Within that AoE, she generates voltage tiles, and this adds electric units, or not electric unit. This adds electric weakness in that area. And when the enemy suffers AoE damage, they take fixed damage. Then it also takes double the fixed damage if the AoE was electric or hydro damage. After all of that, she gets an extra command so she could trigger another skill that you have for her, and she can also move, which is quite nice. So that's her skill set. As you can see, she's a very good support and she does a lot of stability break. Now if we look at her keys, some of her keys seem to be quite nice, especially one of her keys. So this is one of her keys. She gets 4 stacks of chi at the beginning of the battle. This one is intercession. She can do 1 attack on the enemy turn, which also applies conductivity. This one, when she's taunted, feared, infatuated, or stunned, she cleanses it. Next, at the start of the turn, she gives an ally positive charge. So this is one of the keys I thought that she could be using a different team, because this allows a unit that's not electric to get positive charge. So maybe even throw her in the hydro team, because I know the hydro team not really have AoE, but they have some AoE with Springfield. But the reason why this key will be good only if she's not in an electric team is because of this one. before an ally unit with a positive charge makes an attack, apply defense down. This is good. Reduces defense by 30%. That's big. That's a lot of extra damage. So I feel like this key is a must-have. And if she's not on electric team, this probably be a must-have too. But most of the time, you're probably going to put her on an electric team because why not? So you don't really need this key. And then lastly, her other key is a defensive key, which reduces damage for all allies, the stability damage by 1 point. Then her common key is attack boost and more damage to stability broken units. Now, my recommendation, I went for interception, more damage, and more stability break because why not? This right here, I believe, is a must-have. 30% defense down is super big. And then lastly, I went for 4 stack of chi in the beginning. The reason why I went for this because I want that big burst of damage right at the start of the battle. So this is why I went for this. You don't have to, but her other keys doesn't seem that great. I don't understand. This one, probably not. You probably have other cleanses, like I have Endurance that cleanse also, so I don't think I would ever actually need to use this key. This key, probably only use it outside electric team if you don't have a way to give positive charge all the time. Even though she gives positive charge on her ultimate, this will only be a backup if you're not able to use her ultimate or the positive charge runs out before you get her ultimate again, which I don't think so because in her kit actually you could reduce the ultimate cooldown and it's a 3-turn and she gives a 3-turn buff. So honestly, you probably don't need this key to be real. This key I guess is quite defensive. If you need more defensive ability, you could use this, but honestly, I'll say no. I think these 3 keys are probably what you're going to run. Now let's check out her fortification, basically her dupes. So dupe 1 is support action can be triggered 1 more time, and at the start of battle deal 4 points of fixed stability damage to all enemies targets within 8 tiles. Voltage Sag gains a new effect upon receiving this effect. Take fixed damage equal to current stacks times 10% of the afflicted's attack. Power Surge gains a new effect upon receiving this effect. Recover HP equal to 10% of max HP. So this is the debuff for the enemies, and this is the buff when you get positive charge. So when enemies get negative charge, they get this. When allies get positive charge, they get this. So it's just an extra heal, and this is more damage, more fixed damage. Now her skill 2. Cooldown is reduced by 1 turn, so that's her ultimate. Jiangyu gains 1 more point of index and restores 2 points of stability to all doors and cleanses more debuffs and removes fear and infatuated. Okay, that is actually quite nice. Now her dupe 3, damage multiplier is increased by 140. Damage against targets afflicted with Voltage Sag is increased by 30%. Before dealing damage, cleanse 1 buff. Her dupe 4, before the attack, Jiangyu gains attack out for 3 turns. When dealing stability damage, deal 5 points of fixed stability damage to all enemy targets afflicted with negative charge. Oh wow, that's actually kind of insane. So this will be basically a screen. You target everyone on the screen for 5 points of stability damage. It's kind of crazy. Then lastly, her dupe 4. Oh well, not lastly. Her dupe 5 is cleanse 1 more buff from the target. If the target is in stability break, Jiangyu performs an additional attack. And lastly, her last dupe is fixed stability damage dealt at the start of battle is increased by 4 points. When Jiangyu has chi, electric damage dealt is increased by 15%. Maximum stacks of Voltage Sag is increased by 3, and the effect of power charge is changed. The amount of defense ignored when dealing electric damage is increased to 10%, and healing is received to 10%. Alright, so my recommendation, I think her best dupes, skill 1, her dupe 1 seems insane. I feel like this boosts her utility and her niche by a lot just from skill 1. So if you have options or the resources, I think her skill 1 seems really good. That's really nice. Then her dupe 2 seems quite decent. You're able to use Rolling Thunder a lot more, and her ultimate is really good because it gives positive charge to everything, and you kind of want to apply this to your electric team if you're running an electric team, and it cleanses. But also the main thing I want to talk about is her Rolling Thunder actually benefits her a lot because it gives chi, and it also doesn't proc her chi passive. Her chi passive is only proc by her skill 1, skill 2, and basic attack. So when you don't have max stacks, you basically want to use her ultimate to get those max stacks. And by reducing this cooldown by 1, it seems quite nice. So this is more of a luxury for her to make using her a lot better, so you can spam her chi and max stacks a lot faster and a lot better. And I believe this will probably improve her rotation quite a bit too. Her dupe 3, I don't think this is a must. Her dupe 4 is okay if you need extra damage and it does more stability damage, but I don't see this is a must either. This is not a must, but if you're fully investing, I think her dupe 6 is actually good. So right now, I think dupe 1 is amazing. Dupe 2 is okay. It makes her a lot easier. It's a luxury. And then you go full end to dupe 6, and this is where you get a bigger boost in damage also. Her dupe 3 is not worth it, so I would say if possible stop at dupe 2 or even just stop at dupe 1. Her dupe 1 seems cracked. So that's basically it. So let's move on. So I'm going to add some Gunsmoke footage into the background, as I did this Gunsmoke footage yesterday and before I made this video, and I want to test out the units but also get my Gunsmoke finish. So don't take the rotation here as a reference, and I will be explaining the rotation later on in this video. So just enjoy the Gunsmoke and see how well the electric team does. As of right now, it's okay. My Mosin is not doing a lot of damage. My Jiangyu is not really doing a lot of damage. Only my Belka, so I have to work on the team a lot still. Alright, now let's talk about her rotation. So for her rotation skills, the main skills you prioritize at her skill 1, and since it gets an extra man, you go into her ultimate. The reason why you go for skill 1 into ultimate, because skill 1 gives you the extra command. The ultimate is extra damage, and plus it gives you index and chi. And the reason why you don't go to skill 2, because skill 2 only gives you benefit when the bosses and stability broken, and plus her passive reduces her ultimate cooldown. So you want to take advantage of that, so you're doing skill 1 into ultimate to really take advantage of her kit. Now do note, her kit doesn't benefit her. She needs other units to benefit and make use of her keys. So that key that applies defense down, she can't proc it herself. She needs someone else to proc that defense down. So basically you want a unit that doesn't do a lot of damage or utility to go before her in order to get that defense down. Plus, since her chi stacks to 5 and you have the key that gives her 4 in the beginning of the battle, you want someone to go before her to get that 5th stack, so you get the maximum stacks before you use her skills. Basically turn 1, skill 1 into ultimate, that's going to be a turn 1. Then on turn 2 you're using skill 2 because the boss or enemy is usually stability broken, so you get the benefit of skill 2 passive, which is giving chi and giving points of index. Then on turn 3 we're using skill 1 into basic because the ultimate and skill 2 is not available. Then on turn 4, this is where you gotta understand her kit. If you're not at max stacks and the ultimate is available, you're gonna use the ultimate because the ultimate doesn't proc her chi. If you read her chi passive, she's only proc by the basic attack, skill 1, and skill 2. So on turn 4, after you basically went through her first 3 rotations, this is when you determine if you want to use her ultimate or skill 2. Also keep in mind, turn 4, that's usually when your buff starts to run out, so you have to see if you need to reapply buffs because her ultimate also gives buffs. Then the rest of her rotation is up to you. If she's now on max stacks on turn 5 after you use the ultimate, now you use skill 1 again to get the full benefit of the chi max stacks, and most likely the ultimate is not going to be available, so then on skill on turn 5 you're using skill 2. And that's basically how main rotations. You really gotta manage your chi stacks, determine what skill you're gonna use on that turn. But mainly it's skill 1 into ultimate, then skill 2 on enemies that's ability broken, then you're going into skill 1 again when you're on max stacks. If you're not on max stacks, then you want to use her ultimate to gain stacks also, because it doesn't trigger her chi stacks. And you want to make sure you're mainly using her skill 1 when you have max stacks, because it gives a lot of stability damage. So that is the kit of Jiangyu and the breakdown of her kit. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, have a good one.
行動。はい、了解しました。デザートはいかがですか？私やっぱ。はい、指揮官。足元に気をつけて。私やっぱ強い。だるまさんが転ぶ。私やっぱ強い。私やらせて。Agony with the darkness. Agony with the darkness. もう逃げたりしない。死にはさせない。いっけー。了解しました。当たらないようだ。行動開始。はい、当たらないようだ。任せて。足元に気をつけて。Agony with the darkness. Agony with the darkness. はい、当たらないようだ。了解しました。お待たせしました。はい。デザートはいかがですか？私やっぱ強い。はい、指揮官。当たらないようだ。これくらい私お計画通り。もう逃げたりしない。みんなのために。いっけー。お姉ちゃんから離れ。いっけー。見せてあげたい。いっけー。いくわよ。了解。はい、行動開始。足元に気をつけて。いっけー。行動開始。当たらないようだ。了解しました。デザートはいかがですか？